Hello, so welcome to this video for COMP3218 Game Design and Development at the University of Southampton. My name's Dave Millard, I'm one of the lecturers on the course, and I'm here with...
Johan Daniel Molino, one of the demonstrators.
So we're going to have a look at some games for the second coursework for this year. Johan, do you want to say a little bit about what we asked the students to do?
Yeah, of course. So we asked them to create a game with a story engine and non-linear story based on 3 fairy tales that we gave them.
So we're looking for a kind of a narrative game, but still with some mechanics, interesting interactions between the game and the story. Let's get on and have a look at our first game. Okay, so our first game is Demon Within, and we've got a nice title screen here. Press enter to begin. That's, okay, there we are. All I am saying is think about it. Press space to continue. Looks like you really need this thing, and we could use someone like you for select jobs. Who am I talking to? Not to mention you'll get some serious power and will actually be able to defend yourself. Think about what this item really means to you. Game voice. You think back on your day and how you got to this decision. Okay. Is this like an in media res start, is it? I'm sorry, but your sister's illness is not going to get any better, and her days are numbered. 3 at most, I would say. Okay. Must be hard with both of your parents being gone, and you have your duties as a soldier in this battle. Hard to believe there was a time when humans, monsters and demons all left each other alone. Then the battle for resources began. The only cure comes from a very rare flower, and we need a lot of them. Alright. I heard the demons found most of them, which reminds me, are you not scheduled for the mission to contact Village C? No. Okay. If you see any monsters, run. Only demons enough power to defeat them. Okay. Use the arrow keys or WASD to move. Alright, sort of interesting black and white aesthetic going on. Oh, I like that.
Oh,
that's nice.
yeah.
Hold shift to run. Yep. Press space to use your sword. Ooh, do you think that's a... Ow.
Oh.
Okay, can I actually...
Oh.
So is this the bit where I'm supposed to run away because I can't do anything?
Probably.
So they did tell me this, right? So I shouldn't be too surprised, but I still feel it's a bit odd to kind of tell me to use my sword and then make me run away. E to evade... Oh, I see. I can kind of go sort of faint. Alright. So, as I was saying, you do some jobs for us, we can start giving you some of these flowers. Okay. You know, it's rare to come to human all the way out here on a mission, and something tells me you're getting desperate. Believe me, I get it. The only reason I didn't attack you is because some of those monsters jumped me around pretty weakened right now. Okay, potential. What's it going to be? Are we going to ally with the demons or turn him down? So, what information do I have to make this decision? Who are the demons? What do they want? What are they doing? Who am I? I'm a soldier. I kind of feel like I'm a bit in limbo. What do you think? What do you reckon I should do?
It feels like, yeah, maybe ally.
I mean,
Because...
yeah, let's do it. Press space to continue. So presumably I select the one I want and then press space. Let's ally with the demons. Well, intriguing. I guess you'll do anything for your own family. Either that or you simply strive for power. The reason matters not to me. Try using that sword of yours and get a taste of what true power feels like.
Oh.
So now can I actually... yeah, there you go. So it's given me the ability to... Oh, okay. Oh, it's just getting exciting then. You survived. And of course I expect you to, so yeah. You can have this. Actually, how about you get this far after your first proper job? That seems fair. Not happy about this. You promised me a flower. Go to your village. Hope it's clear. You to tell anyone about this contract. Your sister's end may come far sooner. Okay. I'm a little bit confused about why, but yeah. All right. So I'm back in the house. Oh, I've got some dark power. and a shield. I didn't have those things before, right? That's new. Health,
Yes,
dark,
yeah.
health I had. Dark power, shield, and evade. So, sister, it's okay. You can't stay here all day. There are not enough soldiers left in this village. More needless deaths will occur. I assume you come back today. Good luck. Okay. Useful reminder. Thanks, sis. Signs of helpful messages. All right. Oh, it's the demon again. Don't worry. I knew you can hear me. I set up a telepathic link, which took a good while to set up. You're being watched. Okay, so I suppose we've gone into some sort of evil pact with a demon, but if you kill enough, you find yourself becoming stronger. Oh, a dark energy. Quite transformative.
Oh.
Do as you wish. Okay. So I can evade the monsters, or I can kill the monsters. I presume I go out the door. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Oh. So I press up to go through the door, but if I press it too long, I'm still pressing up when I go through the door, and I go back through it again. There we go. Right. Okay. Well, there's a couple of villagers here. Let's talk to this person. Stephanie, don't be swinging that sword around here. You'll hurt someone. Oh yeah. So I can't attack Stephanie because the same thing to talk and attack is the same button, which is interesting. That's an interesting choice, isn't it? Okay, so this person. Nice to see you around again. And praise the Lord. Yeah. Praise the fish, presumably this guy. Darren's not the best conversationalist. Right, well, there's a sign. What's that say? Don't know. Can't read the sign. Perhaps it's not really a sign. Can I go in? No. Alright. So, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing at this point. Going off to find more flowers, I guess? Village general. Every village needs a general. I don't know if you've noticed that. Since last night's missions ended with the team getting lost, we set out early today. We fear the demons may be planning a strike attack in a few days. So we're at war with the demons. Okay. Okay, so now I've got some interesting tension going on. So I'm a villager, we're at war with the demons, but I'm trying to save my sister's life and the demons are helping me. And Village D, I have to say, I love the romantic names they have for their villages. It's truly beautiful. Village D is going to survive. We will need support from as many of the neighbouring villages as possible. Other soldiers have set out to Village A. Your mission for today is to establish a connection with Village B. Okay. The Master of Unlocking, Toby. Oh, there's Toby. It's a bit twitchy. The blue hair's going to stay. Nice. Okay, it's a magic user. It's Max. Okay. Good luck to you all. Your basic energy skill, which can be activated by pressing Q. Well, that's new. They will run out over time. Okay. And I can evade with E. Okay, so we're off. It's okay, there's quite a lot going on in this, isn't there? It's there's the thing. Did I get hit then? Where's the others gone?
Your dark power got a bit higher.
But where are my companions? They vanished.
Maybe off to doing their own things.
That's my shield. That okay. Also, I'm killing monsters, and is it bad to kill the monsters? I don't really know. Who's this fella?
That's
that's interesting. Oh, builder. Sorry, some debris fell on this bridge entrance, and it won't be open for a while. I thought it had crashed then. It looked like it froze, but I think the dialogue didn't pop up. Okay, so can I clear clear the debris by... Can I evade the debris? No.
Huh.
Can I... Oh, I want to stop evading now. There we go. I've used up all my evade power because it didn't unevade. Okay. Brother 2, this is my side of the path. Let me guess, this is your side of the path. It's like the Weasley twins. What's going on over here? Is this the way to Village B, do you think? Oops, I did it again. Okay.
I'm not sure actually.
So I'm just going to take the murderous route.
Oh, a flower.
Dig up this flower for ages. It's the last in my collection. Sounds good. Can I get the flower? Your magic shovel did it. Okay. Right. Okay, so I need to find a magic shovel to get the flower.
Oh.
Ooh. What's going on here? Hello. What do you think is at the top? I don't know, Darren. I can't see it. It's off the top of the screen. Okay, so anything to do here? No. Okay, so I think I've exhausted the delights of the path. Shall we start going through the mark scheme while we reveal a few more bits of this story?
Yeah, I think we can start. Let me see.
So I guess we're thinking about the graphics and audio and the info first.
Yeah.
Graphics are nice, I think. Good pixel art, nicely put together. Yeah. All kind of fits well. The fonts follow the same structure. Clear to see what's going on. Yeah, I think the graphics are pretty good actually. What would an excellent be for graphics?
Yeah, so excellent is consistent, effective, and appealing graphics, and I think we are there.
I think so. And for sound. The sound is good. I've got a nice tune going on, and I've got sound effects happening, so that's all going on. I don't know how much the sound changes, but maybe we have to keep an eye on that. So what would good be for sound?
Good would be complementary audio effects, and music.
So I think it's at least good. I think. Oh, I can go through there. That's interesting. I wanted to try and explore the top of this waterfall. Can I get across here? No, I can't. Oh, the evade thing is like I see. Like you activate it and it uses up half your power straight away. That's why I got confused before. Yeah. Okay. What about the information? So what information have I got? I've got my health. I've got the power, the shield, and the evade. Anything else going on?
I don't think so.
There's the power on the enemies, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
And we were told to look out for signs, but I don't think I've seen any signs. But I think still the good. Oh, is that? Have we got a sign?
Yeah.
Yes. Laughed. Safe pass to Village B. Right. Crystal Gem Caves. Dangerous path to Village B. I have a choice, and it looks like I have a diegetic choice. I'm gonna go over here. And I can't risk losing one of the crew. Your role could be valuable to us after all. What crew? Where have they gone?
Oh,
that's a bit mean. Can I get across these? Am I just... Hello? Evade?
I don't think so.
That evade thing's really annoying.
Yeah, I think that the demon doesn't let you.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, well, the information stuff. So the signs are here as well. So, okay, so I think we've got some nice nice stuff going. What would good be for? Ah, there they are. They're with me all the time. They were just hiding underneath my coat.
Oh yeah.
It's not like. Hang on. Well, couldn't I just run past the demon? Stop it, you. Oh yeah, I've got quite much. Oh, I pressed space. Oh dear. I think the problem there is I was spamming the space key so hard, and they've used the same key for talk as they have for attack. Therefore, I've missed what actually happened to me. But I'm guessing that the dark energy has transformed me into something.
Yeah, I think.
In a familiar location. You absolutely do not want to kill your sister and try to stop. Oh, yeah, there's me. Look, I got all horns and stuff. Kill your sister or kill your sister. That's great. Let's kill her. Oh dear. Oh, the swipe of doom. Okay, so it turns out that attacking everything in sight and killing everything is not necessarily the way to go. Well, I'll have a run through, and I will try to evade more this time and see if we get anywhere.
In the meantime, we were talking about information design, and good would be OK information is shown, and I think we're there.
Mm-hmm.
Is it shown clearly?
It's pretty good. I mean, the health above the enemies is well placed. It's very clear. There's a few bits I was a bit confused with the evade, with how those energy chunks worked.
Yeah.
But once I understood, it became obvious. Shall I? What do you think? Shall I accept the demon's help but just not kill very much, or shall I not accept the demon's help? Let's try not accept his help.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the information design is at the good level. I think it works well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, talking about graphics, this is a nice effect with this kind of light fading and the rain.
Yeah, that's actually. Oh, and the what do you call it? The black and white filter.
Yes, yeah. There's some nice going. I think they've done a nice job actually with the graphics.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, I've turned the demon down. Yeah. Okay. She's still saying the same stuff. Right, I didn't get very far before. I suppose I was so busy killing things.
I wonder if killing them now gives you dark power.
Well, I don't think I can. I think my attacks won't do anything, will they? Right.
I mean, that would be a really bad sword issue.
Yeah. I'll have a go. I think it knocks them back. In our 4-day plan, this is day 1, and we attack. Okay, didn't we have a 3-day plan before? Many of them are okay. So I need to connect with village B. It's dangerous. I'm joined by these 2 jokers who won't do anything.
So for now, let's talk about the mechanics, because I think we've probably seen most of them.
Yeah, I think so. So what have I got? I've got kind of got obviously these interactions with the dialogue. I can attack. I've got evade and shield, although I haven't really used them very much.
Yeah, and what else?
I think that's probably about it, isn't it?
And I suppose we can talk about the dark power as well. That can be a mechanic. Trying to not.
Yes, you're right. Actually, I suppose there's the attacking or not attacking, and then the fact that increases your power. So there's a few things happening. So what would a satisfactory be for mechanics?
A set of consistent mechanics.
So I think that's fair.
Yeah, is it complementary?
Well, yeah, I mean, they fit together fine. They don't. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm. They're not combining together in sort of sophisticated ways, or. But
Yeah,
they don't not fit. So maybe halfway between good and satisfactory.
yeah.
So, let's go up here. Actually, let's see if I'm gonna just see if my sword does do any damage to these things. No.
Okay, it doesn't. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Okay.
And how do the controls feel?
Yeah, they're okay. I feel like I'm in control, which is always a good thing. The only thing I would say is that issue of going through entrances and the screen flipping around is a little bit of a pain, and the attack and the talk button being the same one is a mistake. I think I can understand why they've done it, but it did cause me to miss a bit of the story last time. But actually, I mean, those are really minor niggles. It's very playable. What would good be?
Good would be a reasonable set of smooth, usable controls.
I think they've done enough to get that. I think it's very controllable. Right, shall I try and go path B and see what happens? Because I've got no demon to warn me off now. But interestingly, my companions. So I also don't have any cave entrance.
Okay.
Let's see what's going on in here. What was it? Was it? Oh blimey! Can I pick up a crystal? So why was I coming? I thought the whole point of coming in here was I got crystals or something.
I think it was to go to village B, but
there's not much to do around here. That's a person. I thought it was like a cup or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you.
So I just get eaten.
You probably want to try the evade power, maybe.
Yeah. Run away. Okay.
Oh.
No. Earthquake, help. Help, please.
Oh.
Save Toby or save Max? I'm not saving Max. He was a, I wasn't impressed by him. Save Toby. Yeah, Toby's got cool blue hair. Bye, Max. There we go. He was mean, but he didn't deserve this. Well, after this war is over, we'll have to have a proper send-off for him. Let's keep moving. I think we're almost there. Yeah, thanks, Toby. You've been an enormous help so far. Right. Now we've made it to the village. Okay. I've heard you'll stay at the village. I would be happy to join. It means we can finally bring an end to this terror. What say? Oh, you there in the middle. Well, I'm not in the middle anymore because sadly we lost Max.
Oh yeah.
Cup of tea to celebrate this alliance. Oh, and we're back again. Max the mage is sadly gone. Only two of you must ask you to gain some intel on the demon fortress. Oh, we're still going. Remember, we are running out of time and the battle shed will be taking place in 2 days. Good luck.
2 days. Okay.
So, okay. Do you get the feeling we have 3 missions to do? Where do you think I'm supposed to be going now? Am I supposed to be going the same place? Shall I go this way instead?
Right.
Ah, hello. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to kill you.
Guards blocking the entrance. Are they?
Crystal Gem Caves, let's go this way this time. See, there's still monsters. A pit of... Oh, E. No, I'm stuck. I think we might have found a bit of a bug. It was shield. Q. Get off. Yeah, I am well and truly stuck. I can't move.
That's so strange. It doesn't look like you can be stuck there.
That's a shame. Okay, I'm going to... I've got to restart, I don't think. I'm going to restart the game, and we'll have another go. I don't know whether we're going to get to the end of it, but we'll do our best. Okay.
Yeah, I suppose that leads us to the books section.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if that book was very, very... I mean, it looked... was it hard to do?
Well, I mean, it's obviously a game-breaking bug, but I think we may have been very unlucky to discover it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't think I would count as a frequent bug. So I think space is kind of... Sorry, I said space because it said space on the screen. I think good would be mostly bug-free, right? But with complexity.
Game is reasonably complex, but there are infrequent minor bugs.
Yeah, so I'm going to turn him down. So I think it's there. I think. And we'll call it minor because I think they were just unlucky that we stumbled across it. And there's quite a lot going on here. There's lots of different scenes and lots of different types of interaction.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've got to go through the whole thing again though. Right.
Try to go to the left this time.
Yeah.
The first time.
Yeah. Let's give it a go.
Maybe it's going to be a bit different.
Okay.
At least you can run. Which
yes, that's quite helpful. Alright, so I also won't explore this time, I'll just go for it. So let's see what's up here. So it was a guard last time. Ugh.
Oh.
Yeah, come and tell me something useful.
So we should go on.
I'm gonna have to go right.
Ah, okay. So
oh, there's the monsters blocking the path. Okay. So I can't. Ow! Get off. So I think that's a bit odd. I think kind of when I had the power to go right and I could attack stuff, it wouldn't let me. And when I don't have the power to go right because I can't attack stuff, it makes me go this way. Ah, should we save the same person?
Yeah.
Or should we save Toby or should we save Max? See what happens this time. You know, he is a wizard. It's quite useful to have a wizard.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's save Max. I was so mean to you guys. Oh, he's all right after all. Do right for Toby. Okay. Interesting.
Okay,
yeah.
Sweet.
Here we go. Alright, so we're back getting the intel on the Demon Fortress. It's just me and Max this time. Alright, I won't go and try and get past that guard. Shall we do the next what's the next criteria?
Yeah, so the next one would be the story engine.
So we haven't seen the whole thing yet.
Yeah.
Oh, the guard's there, so I can't go that way. Should I go the other way? Am I supposed to be going? I don't even know if I'm supposed to be going the same way.
It's to.
Hey, he's blocked. Do you think I should go a different way? Have I? Oh dear. Have I like?
Maybe there is another path.
Yeah, there was this path down here, wasn't there? So I couldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, so unless this has changed, am I supposed to be going to the Demon Fortress, right?
Yeah, and where is it?
It all looks the same so far. I've got no idea where it is. Hang on. Is it a different space this time? Oh, what do you think is at the top? I don't know. Time to use the raft. What raft? Okay.
Oh.
Alright, so this
Okay.
is the Demon Fortress. Alright, I'm not entirely sure that was signposted particularly well, but
Yeah.
we kind of got there in the end. Okay, let's go. Oh, so Max. So because we got Max, we have an illusion spell. It makes us look like a demon.
Oh wow.
Again, I like the graphics. Very nice.
Oh wow, yeah, that's very.
Is this like just a maze that I have to find my way through? I think I've gone the wrong way. I presume there's a pit. Let's try this way instead. So in terms of the story engine, this is about whether the narrative and the story, how much they interact, right? Oh, hang on, do you hear something up ahead?
Oh, he's done.
It's the demon. Magic shovel in the left room and demon strategy in the right.
Oh, I see the choice.
Okay.
So the magic shovel can help the sister by getting one of the flowers.
Yeah. But the right is the demon strategy, which is the whole point of the thing. You could sneak past a simple illusion spell. I can sense your humanity. You're coming with me. Oh, I didn't even get to make the choice. I just got arrested. I don't know. Do demons arrest people? Is that a thing? I'm not entirely sure where you will get sent. It's going to be better than here. Okay, so that's interesting. I wonder what happened if we didn't have Max. Okay. There's a flower at the top. You found another flower. Hurrah! Let's go down the waterfall. Right.
Oh, it was at the top.
Okay, so we've got a flower, but we didn't get the demon strategy because the demon caught us. Got to make contact with Village C. Good luck.
That's probably the.
Where's Village C? Oh, do you think that's up the other path?
That's probably the bridge, and maybe it's cleared now.
Don't you think it's up here? I think that might
on
be...
the right. On the right, maybe.
But that's where we went with the raft, wasn't it?
Oh, you mean on the? Oh yeah.
Although, what was up there? Was that the? Oh no, that's the. So yeah. So anyway, we were talking about game engines. So in terms of the game engine, I still can't get in there. How do I?
Try to go to the. Just above the village. I think the bridge that was.
That was blocked.
Yeah, but maybe now it's not.
There you go.
Okay.
You were right.
So yeah, the story engine. Let's see.
So we are making choices. So things like save Max, save Toby, and they clearly have an effect on the game, right? And it appears to me that's happening in several places, and also some of the choices are diegetic, so they're not happening just in the menu. They're happening by me physically going one direction or another in the game, or by choosing to attack or not to attack in the game. So that's quite nice. And those choices then have consequence, right? So, so I think there's lots of examples and a quite rich set of examples of story choices affecting the game world, right? So, what would be excellent for story to game?
Excellent would be a consistent interplay between the story and the game world, including important impacts.
So I think it's there, right? I think they've done a good job actually. And then the other way around, so things in the game world, do they affect the story? Well, you've got those diegetic choices, right? So I can, and you've also got the elements like choosing to attack or not to attack. So those are things that I'm doing in the game space, and they then do impact the story. So yes, again, I think we've got multiple examples of that. So I think they've actually done a very nice job of integrating the two, and they probably ought to be getting a sort of excellent level for both, I think.
Yeah, I feel the same, I think. Yeah. What's up ahead?
There we go.
Who's that?
A village under attack from powerful monsters. If our legends are true, these monsters are going to be killed by a bronze sword. Okay. You will need one of these. Not even a demon can use one. So, okay, so our demon powers won't help. We need a bronze sword. Where do I get a bronze sword? Hello, do you have a bronze store? With one of these. Why do I need a ladder?
A ladder.
I've got no idea why I want a ladder, so I'm going to take the bronze sword. Great.
And now supposedly it should be...
So, can I talk to him again? Come with me. Ah, right, okay. So, come with you. Does that mean walk past you and leave you stood there like a lemon?
Yes.
Oh, no, I'm back again. Come with me. I have a bad feeling.
Oh.
Let's try going back in again.
We are undertaken.
There we go. For a minute there.
Oh, that's a very big build bar.
A big blob of pixels. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for your brave efforts. Village Sea will join our fight. Good night, sir. Right, there was oh dear, there was not enough support to save the home village, and it fell to the demons.
Oh.
Well, hang on a minute. Why? We had the help of Village C. We found our way to Village B.
B as well.
We didn't get the strategy, did we? We failed to get the strategy.
Yeah.
And that's it. We're dead. Okay. Well, let's talk about the structure. So I'm hoping on their game notes they have a kind of some sort of diagram which explains what their structure is.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
So, because it looks to me that there are quite a few paths through. We've had at least 2 different endings. We've had some characters died and some didn't. We did the one ending where I turned into a demon and murdered my own sister. That was nice. I think I just made a choice without realising it.
Yeah, you.
But that's fine. I did want to do this anyway. Because what I wanted to do was see what happens if I take the demon's power but don't use it very much.
I see.
So let's see if we get any different responses. Oh dear, I've done that thing again. Yeah, so the story. So I've definitely got multiple endings. I think I've got multiple paths through. And they resolve...
It does look like that.
And they resolve some of my choices nicely. So, you know, depending on which character I kill, a different set of events will happen. It looks to me like there's some kind of cumulative thing going on where the choices I make and the success or failure I have within the game is modifying some variable behind the scenes to say how successful I've been. And then that has a consequence for the overall village.
So it's strange because, let me read. It says here that there's a thing called battle points,
right?
Which I
guess is. Well, I'm guessing is that what you get for killing the creatures?
Maybe because there's power. Also darkness. Yeah, dark power. So that's a separate thing as well.
Oh, okay. It's not clear what the battle points do then.
Yeah, and I'm not sure the other way. So you have to queue the...
Okay, so we need to use our demon power, do we?
At least for this part, yeah.
Oh.
Huh. Can't believe that.
Okay.
Oh.
Right, nice. So we're making excuses. Oh, here we go, though. Oh, I've not been up here before. Oh, well, that was easy. We all made it in one piece, thanks to the demons. Yay, demons!
I'd be happy to join. I mean, yeah, that's...
Okay, so we've got successfully got village A.
Oh, maybe battle points is
Oh.
the number of people you have.
Oh, okay.
Because-
Maybe that's the variable I was saying about counting up to see how well you've done.
Maybe.
So the demon is telling me to slip some poison into it to serve to the village leader. Why? So I've got to rough up the village leader in order to get my flowers. Oh, what do you reckon? I want to save my sister. On the other hand, you know, if the leader of
other flowers we've seen already.
Yeah, you're right. Don't do it. Yeah. Okay, right.
Ah.
Okay. Day off.
Huh.
So I got to go and meet the demon at the demon castle. So I presume that's the demon. Oops, that's the demon fortress, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I turn my caps lock off. Right. Wasn't that up here somewhere? Ow.
On the right. Yeah. With the raft.
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of the structure, I think it looks like it's got a complex structure. What would good be?
Several branching points.
Yeah.
It feels. Yeah, we're
definitely there. What about oh, it's a little girl. But I recognise your uniform. My father's an old mate. I bet he can give you some kind of defensive feel. Follow me. He's in the top right tent of our hidden village. Oh.
Oh, wow.
Crikey, there's a lot to this, isn't there? There's all sorts going on. Who are you? Top right. Alright, let's go and talk to the top right tent. Oh. Mage builder. Remain hidden. Not permit outsiders. I will honour the promise made to you and give you a raft. Okay, so I get the raft this way. So before I just sort of found a raft. So why is there a whole hidden village to give me a raft?
I think because the raft was given to you by the general or something. And he already gave it to the other two people.
Oh, I see. So I get a different raft. Okay. Let's go and see what the...
Yeah.
Oh, that's the demon.
Ooh.
Hi, demon. To our leaders where they can help fully evaluate your worth. Should be fun. Oh, it's Greg. Founder of the popular bakery chain. Should we go? Now their pastries make sense. Any demons go at this door? Oh. Okay. His name is Greg. No, that's your name. Leader 1 and Leader 2. I love the names in this game. It is right. We must attack Village A as they have a large population. Oh, should we tell them about the hidden village or keep quiet? Oh, see, this is good. I like this. So if I tell them about the Village A, then we won't be able to survive the attack. But if I tell them about Village... Oh, well... And that little girl, she was so nice and they lent me a raft. What do you reckon?
I think the other village has more manpower and has more of a chance to survive rather than the hidden village. I think they're not prepared for any kind of...
So you think I should keep quiet about the hidden village? This is a good choice. I like this. Well, before I make this choice, let's finish off with talking about the structure. So what would excellent be for the structure?
So excellent is a number of branching points throughout the game.
Yes, so I think we clearly got that as well. What would praiseworthy be? Just as
a network of branches and paths throughout the story.
See, I think we might have that. I mean, I'm hoping you've got the graph in front of you, but it feels like I've got lots of interesting choices all the way through. There's all sorts of different stuff going on. I've got kind of local consequences. I've got the global consequence about the attack on the village.
So it's like you have the first choice at the start of the game, either be with the demon or not, which branches the game into two different things, two different stories. In each one of them, there's small paths and choices to make, and then it converges at the end. Yeah.
So I think we are up at the prizeworthy level. It's a nice network of choices through the game.
And how about the choices themselves?
Well, I mean, we've had some interesting ones. Sometimes they're a bit blind. So you know, I don't really know why I would want to do one thing or the other. And I don't necessarily think the whole relationship between the humans, the monsters, and the demons was. They did mention it, but they didn't necessarily set it up particularly well at the beginning. But I got it. But then some choices like this one are really good, right?
Yeah.
So I've got a very good reason for making either of these choices, and if I was, well, I have. We've paused, right, and we talked about it. So this is clearly a really good choice, and some of the other choices are quite interesting as well. So what would good be for choices?
Good would be some interesting choices and attempts to manage player agency.
So I think they've definitely done that. And the structure is managing player agency with the kind of the mirror world and then bringing it back together for the end. What would it excellent be?
Excellent is interesting choices and an effective system for managing player agency.
So again, I think they've done that through the structure.
Yeah.
And what would prizeworthy be?
So prizeworthy is interesting choices and an effective system for managing player agency that uses more than one then it could solve.
More than one technique, I think. So there is at least one other technique. There's some false choices as well, right? So sorry, not false choices. They take your choice away. They remove your agency with that. So there's some. So there's some nice stuff going on. They also do it by blocking your path, for example. And physically stopping you. So I think they might be up at the prizeworthy level for choices as well. I think they've done a really nice job of providing a network of things with different mechanisms for managing what you're doing, and they've presented you with some really nice and interesting choices. I think they've done a really nice job actually.
Yeah,
right.
I think I agree with you.
Let's send them to Village A. Please just go home for the day. Take this sausage roll. Right. Your last mission, contact with Village C. Oh, I want to know what happened to Village A. Good luck. Okay. All right.
Oh, that's the one with the.
Which way was
demon. That one? Just straight up, I think. On the right.
Through the village, through the bridge rather. That was it. Does that sign say?
Village B.
Oh, up Village C.
Oh, I see.
Our fault or my fault? Can't blame them. Mystical tree. Mystical tree. Oh. The top of the tree.
There's a flower. That's why you need a ladder.
Okay. So we're not been reading the signs enough. Okay. By the way, I think we're onto the techniques bit now.
The poetics.
So and the pacing. And the poetics. So in terms of the poetics, this is whether or not what you're doing matches the story. Do they see which story they've based it on, by the way?
They should. It does say. Do you have an idea, a faint idea of what it might be, or?
So what do we have? So, we had the tortoise and the eagle, didn't we? If men had all they wish, they would be ruined.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel quite right, although maybe the whole thing with the demon fits.
That's the one.
It is
That's
the one. The farmer and the cranes. Okay, well, let's think about that then. If men had all they wished for, they would often be ruined. So I have to say that fits with that kind of core thing about the dark power and managing the dark power and everything. Although it's a bit blunt. And I don't know whether it's kind of a theme within the game. It's not necessarily the story of the game, because the story of the game is all about making, these compromises between saving your sister and saving the village. And I suppose, here we go. Here's a choice right here, right? So I'm about to choose the ladder, right? So actually, I do have a decision here, a core decision.
Oh.
Do I take the ladder and save my sister, or do I take the bronze sword and save the village? So I'm going to take the ladder this time.
And you already have a sword anyway that can kill.
But this guy said it wouldn't do the job. So in fact, if I talk to him, so sorry about that. So let's go to the tree.
I see.
Alright, use that ladder. It fell to the demons. Ensure that you and your sister were spared. There we go. Sadly, not enough flowers to save your sister. Oh.
Wait.
Oh no. So
how much did you get?
So it's just me. Well, that was a really bum ending. So alright. So I wasn't mutinous enough, basically, or traitorous enough. So I think kind of the gameplay involves it does involve making choices. I'm constantly making choices about, do I want to my capabilities within the game, do I want to get the flowers, or do I want to pursue the route? I'd be interested to know if there is a route through this game where you can succeed at both or not, because I'm struggling to see one myself, but perhaps there is. So in terms of the poetics, let's go with the mark scheme. So what does good say for poetics?
Let me check. So, good for poetics should be narrative and gameplay complement one another, as the key mechanics are in keeping with the themes of the story.
So I think that's true, right? So it's a story about the actual story, the narrative. The story is about saving your sister and saving the village, and your mechanics are all about exploring, fighting in the war, choosing whether or not to take the power. So they all kind of fit, and they also fit with the kind of the story that inspires it, the moral that inspires it, through that dark power aspect. I'd say they fit. What would excellent be?
Excellent would be narrative and gameplay support one another, as the mechanics emphasize the themes of the story. And
the themes of the story are manifest through the mechanics. It's true. So I think I suppose the reason I'm hesitating is that it's very in your face. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. So I think they probably are there, actually. I really do think they've done a nice job. They've thought very carefully about how it all integrates.
Okay.
In terms of pacing and techniques, these should be a bit easier to talk about. So pacing, we've got the kind of 3 acts, if you like. So villages A, B, and C. And then we've got the kind of so there's a kind of there's peaks along the way, if you like. I've got these kind of 3 mini adventures, and I've got the resolution at the end. I'm kind of the problem is that the resolution feels a bit like is really the denouement, right? What I'm missing is maybe a final climactic scene. And it feels like some of the storylines might have that, right? with the fight with the big monster or whatever.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like what it's missing, and this could just be time, is I want the actual battle for the village at the end. I only see the result of it. I'm actually missing the scene where the battle happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And I kind of feel like I ought to be having this battle where demons are coming into the village, and my choices have consequences about who is there to support me, right? It's actually the mechanism they use, I think, in the original's Horizon Zero Dawn game, right? Where essentially, there's this exploration narrative, but along the way you may or may not help people, and then depending on who you help, they crop up at the end in a big battle to help you, right? And that's kind of missing, and there's so much here that I'm guessing they just ran out of time. But that for me means that final peak is kind of isn't quite there. So what would let's I'm gonna try and get flowers this time and see if it actually helps us. If I turn him down, presumably we won't get spared in the demon attack. Maybe my successful route is to accept his help, not kill lots of stuff,
betray him maybe.
But betray the village and hopefully get enough flowers to save my sister at the end. But the villagers all get killed, don't they? Anyway, so in terms of pacing, what would satisfactory be?
Some ascending pacing.
There's a pattern to it through the 3 acts, as it were. And what would good be?
Ascending pacing with a clear final peak.
Yeah, and I think so. I think this is probably the one place where they haven't done quite so well.
Yeah,
because that final peak's kind of missing. So I think it's probably a satisfactory for pacing. Techniques, though, we've got some nice stuff going on, right? We've got
quite a bit, yeah.
We've got some. We've got obviously the dialogue. That's one way. We've got kind of little cutscenes that are happening.
Yeah, cutscenes.
I wouldn't quite go as far as saying we've got environmental storytelling, but there's a little bit of that, where you discover the areas. Things are blocked off. Things like this, for example, which is like a little in-game scene. So I think we've got multiple techniques on display. What would good be for techniques?
Good would be use of more than one game writing technique, and we are definitely there.
Yeah.
And excellent would be appropriate and consistent use of more than one game writing techniques.
Yeah, I think we're there. I think there's some. Did we discover what this person was doing? Mary. Who knows? What's that over there?
Oh.
Another kind of. Oh, I got stuck again. Oh no, I got stuck again.
Try attacking again. Maybe that.
Yeah. Maybe that was the. Oops, that was the problem.
Try that shield. Maybe Q.
Yeah.
Okay, that worked.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about the shield and evade mechanic. That seems a bit.
Yeah, so
save Toby.
Do we put them on the excellent for the techniques?
I think so. And that only leaves us with feedback. So what did they say?
Let me see. The first piece of feedback received was to consider the core theme of the game more and think about how it can be tied into the gameplay more. Well, the storyline was designed around the fable, the tortoise and the ego. It was not reflected in how you play the game as much. To solve this, the idea of a level up system where you not only get stronger but also have your dark demonic energy increase was introduced. As a consequence, you can feel more powerful in the game in short bursts by killing enemies and becoming stronger. And yeah, however, there will be a limit to that, and yeah, it kind of goes well with the theme.
Yeah.
So you will also have slightly less health on higher levels, indicating how the dark power is taken from you as well as giving. You're stronger in some ways but weaker in others. Interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, we've talked about that dark power thing quite a bit, and I think that worked well. Notice, by the way, I'm coming in here with Toby rather than Max, and as a result, I'm hiding in a barrel rather than disguised as a demon. Let's see, I want to see if I can go and get the magic shovel. Oh no.
Oh no.
So okay, we're about to find out how we get out. Oh, of course, because Toby's a master of unlocking.
Oh, so now you can actually go back.
Now I can go and get the shovel.
But you can see it's either the flower with the shovel or the flower at the top of the waterfall. So there's always a flower in this route, it feels like.
Yes. So I got a flower. So it was
and now
a shovel?
You can get the ladder.
Yeah. So, but the shovel was this way? I can't remember, I think.
Yes, it was in the...
So while I'm doing that, what was the other thing they said for feedback?
Let's see, so... the second piece of feedback was to think of more direct ways that decision could impact gameplay. Initially, the story choices would affect future story events and where in the game world you would go. This still affects the gameplay as you play different parts of the game, however the mechanics would remain the same. To amend this, further abilities were added to the avatar that are highlighted more on different paths.
Yeah.
For example, if you side with the demons, you are granted attack power that allows you to play offensively. Yeah, so they did. I think that's also...
So also worked.
Yeah,
although
and
it's kind of similar point perhaps, but
yeah, and the final one.
Here we go. It fell to the demons, but
wait,
but my sister, I got 2 flowers. Oh, that's disappointing. I don't know if I might have pressed space a bit too quickly. There's a bit of an issue with that, but okay. So in terms of feedback, it sounds to me that they've responded to the feedback and it's worked quite well. So
they have just one last one. Let me quickly see. So other feedback cited pacing issues. For example, on the first day, you're given a choice to poison a leader's drink and kill him. However, this felt too abrupt of a moral shift to the player who is supposed to be fighting for good. Adjustments were made so that the player would not kill the village leader and instead make him very sick, which still leads to the village not helping the main character. And more thought was given to rising tension, where you would first harm but not kill a human character.
Yeah.
Then you later have a choice to indirectly cause a village of 10 people
so they kind of
to die or save a village of hundreds of strangers.
Right, so they kind of toned it down a bit.
Yeah, which parallels the famous trolley problem.
Yeah.
I see, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
And yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So what would good be for their feedback score?
So that would be feedback has been addressed, and changes have been successful.
So I think that's definitely there.
Yeah.
And excellent.
Feedback has been interpreted and addressed, and the changes have been successful.
So I think that's true because of the way they've integrated the dark power thing. You know, they've taken that on board and they've come up with a mechanism in the game to manage it. So I think it's an excellent for them for that. They've done a nice job. We've been playing this for quite a long time, but it's a really nice game. Complex routes through it. They've thought carefully about their decisions. They've done a really nice job here. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, however, it's time to move on to our next game. Okay, so our next game is called 3 Days. Here we go. I've got a nice title screen, some pleasant music going on. I guess we play. Okay, we'll get rid of that. The story starts here in the great village of Goldhay. Press WAS to move, control mouse to slash. Okay. I could press control, I guess. That might be... No. That control works. Alright, I'll stick with the mouse click. Oh, I have a sort of a very floaty jump, which includes pausing at the top. It's a bit strange. That's odd. Look at that. I think, is that because I've not risen to the height of the jump? So
yeah.
It's almost like the... That's really odd. Okay. It was time for his daily duty, cutting hay. Great. He was under no circumstance to go over the hill of temptation to the right of the field.
Oh.
Enter field here.
Field of temptation. Oh, I see. So you can either
enter field here.
Go do your things or go over the field.
Alright, well I'm gonna do that. Sort of slightly Stanley Parable thing, you know, you're definitely not doing this. The task for the day was to cut some hay and sunflowers. I can cut the hay. Here we go. Press control to cut hay. With your sword. Hard day's work to help the village. Press E to return home and start a new day.
Okay.
Day 2. I wonder how many days there are in 3 days. A bit more cloudy today. Okay, marvellous. But no weather was going to stop some good old hay cutting. I love his jolliness. The hill to the right of the field was still there and still off limits. Don't want to go in there then. Definitely don't want to do that. That would... nobody wants to go off and explore when you could be doing... Oops.
Yeah, cutting some hay.
Cutting some hay and sunflowers. These sunflowers aren't going to cut themselves. Do I actually need to cut the hay? I mean, do I need to? I just go right and then just press E and go back? A beautiful sunrise. Oh, back door.
Interesting.
He loved getting up early on his days off.
It's a day off. I see.
This was one of his favourite pastimes, climbing the hill. It's time to spread his wings. Marvellous. This is... The hill of the eagle. Press E to fly.
Wow.
Okay. Alright, let's do it. What? Alright, let's... Right. I think I might try the hill of temptation.
Maybe,
I'll be honest.
You'll see what happens.
That's time cutting hay. So this time I'm gonna play the person who really doesn't want to cut hay. Cutting hay is for losers. Let's go this way.
The hill of temptation.
The hill of temptation, which I know can't get back across by the looks of it. Oh dear. The trap. No sky text is stopping him today. Press E to continue. Ooh, got an offer for you. A power you cannot dream of, but for a price. Life. That's quite a steep price.
Oh.
Hang on. Well, first of all, what's the offer? And second of all, what's the price?
A very good power, I suppose. A very strong power. And the price is your life.
Alright, I'll accept the offer. Something was wrong.
Oh.
I love these filters for the newfound power. Oh, I can shoot firebolts. And now there's monsters.
Oh wow.
Ah. I forgot I still got my sword. So I've got my sword. Do I take... Oh, I've got hit points to the top right hand corner. I've not even seen those before.
Oh yeah. I didn't even see that, yeah. Natural order was disturbed. Interesting.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I think you
I got
died.
killed and reset. All right.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
the music.
The music has changed. I
Yeah.
appear to have gone into some sort of Iron Maiden video. Alright.
Oh, yeah.
Run away!
Seems as though the natural order. Yeah. That's definitely what happened.
It's not. It's more exciting than cutting hay, but it's still quite ponderous, if I'm honest. The Hill of Temptation.
Oh, so if you
Was
don't have it,
was it all worth it? I don't know. You again.
you
Risky.
again. Oh,
No. Want more? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Day 3. Hell yes. The power of vampirism could suck the life. I must have it. Even harsher consequences. Well, I can't. There was nothing.
oh.
This is. Did I got
Yeah,
I
it
got health.
gives you. Except some monsters, of course. I think there's a platform. Yeah.
One more trip over the hill can't hurt any more than it has. I really can't.
I can slightly see it.
Can barely see anything. You've got all you wanted. The choices were all yours. Stuck here until the universe begins again. You are immortal after all. Time is all you have. Oh, press 1. Let's go. Great. Okay, so we'll start going through the mark scheme. This time I'll sort of go try a middle route. I'll sort of accept the first time, or maybe I'll go and do the hay on day 1, and then take the temptation on the second day or something.
So
right. Let's start going through it. Yeah.
Information design, the first part.
So there isn't really a lot. I've got there's obviously the telling you what to do, like here. I've got there's a nice sword arc showing where my attack range is. And then when the monsters appeared, I had hit points in the top right, although that was a little bit out of the way and not entirely visible.
Yeah,
so I think it's quite basic, but sort of there. What would satisfactory be?
Most information is shown.
It's difficult because there's not much information to show.
Exactly.
I mean, it doesn't show me what day it's on. It doesn't show me any other kind of story state or anything. Let's go and cut hay. I've still got one more day to go and do the thing, so let's go and cut the hay again today. So what would so that was satisfactory, wasn't it? What would pass be?
Some attempt at information design.
I think that's probably where it is.
Yeah, because there's not a lot. Yeah. I don't think you can go to the wizard here.
Oh no, so I've missed my chance.
Yeah.
I've got the same ending. Climbing the hill. Alright, I'll go and leap off the hill like some gormless eagle. And we'll try
What about the graphics?
So I was about to say, it's a little bit of shame about the background, although they do change colour, use filters, but otherwise the graphics kind of work.
Yeah. So they're consistent from what I see.
And they're consistent, and they're fine, and the animation works nicely, and I would say it's not entirely consistent. So I've got this kind of quite a pixely image for my main character, whereas the backgrounds are kind of like a slightly different level of pixelation, if you sort of mean.
Yeah.
Pixel art, and the text isn't pixel. It's normal fonts. And you know, it's a bit of a shame, like these things are just cutouts and squares in the sky, but it's fine. So what would good be?
Good would be consistent and effective graphics.
And what would satisfactory be?
Just consistent graphics.
Yeah, I think it's kind of there. It's consistent. It's fine. There's bits that I quite like that would lift it up to good, but there's also bits I think which aren't quite consistent, which take it down. So I think a satisfactory is about right.
Yeah, but try to actually decline his offer rather than accept it.
Day one.
Day one again.
Huh.
So you restarted to the
that's
beginning.
odd. Yeah, I think so. That's strange. Right, I'm going to go and cut the hay.
Yeah, so
and then I'll come in. Well, I've got some music. The music. Actually, I'm not going to cut the hay. I'm just going to ignore it. I don't think it makes any difference. And the music does change. So I've got this kind of pleasant music now. It's like, you know, like, here we are, off to cut some hay, or not. And then I think the music changed when the game world changed.
To the wizard.
So let's do the wizard. The Hill of Temptation. The writing's nice, actually. Okay, E to continue. Yep. Accept offer. Day 2.
Okay.
But I did do the hang on, did I do the hay on one day? I think I did, didn't
I? Yes.
Yeah. So in terms of information design, by the way, you've also got the kind of the state of the story kind of reflected in the sky, which is kind of nice, I guess.
Yeah. They do mention that in the notes. And yeah, so audio. So we have as well effects when you.
Yeah, I think they're both here. I mean, what would satisfactory be?
Some audio effects and music.
Yep, so definitely there. And what would good be?
Complementary audio effects and music.
Take me to back day 2. Oh. So I've restarted day 2.
Interesting.
So I can now go and. It's like being in a surreal dream, this game. Yeah, so I think audio. So what was good for?
Complementary audio effects and music.
I would say maybe halfway between the two, because they you know, it does change depending on what's going on.
Yeah.
But
it's not quite there.
Well, although actually, it kind of works. It's kind of, you know, sort of fits. I'm back. So I took the offer for one thing, but now I'm back on. No, actually, I think good. I think kind of it is complementary, isn't it? It fits. It changes according to the sounds, and I've got sound effects. So I think good. I think good.
Yeah. So that leads us to the mechanics of the game.
So mechanics-wise, I've not got. There's not a huge amount going on, is there? I've obviously I can move left and right, and I can jump. There's a little bit of platforming. I can left mouse button to swing, and I've got the right mouse button to shoot fireballs when I get that power. I collect hay, but that doesn't really do anything. And I can shoot the monsters. I would say I've got quite a limited set of mechanics. What would satisfactory be?
Satisfactory would be a set of consistent mechanics.
And what would pass be?
A set of inconsistent mechanics. So the thing here is that, for example, poor is a few mechanics.
Yeah.
And then, it feels like.
I mean, I've got kind of, you know, I've got jumping and swinging my sword and firing fireballs. It's basically what I got.
And I suppose also choosing the dialogue.
Yes, you're right, actually. So maybe that puts it up at the... was it satisfactory? Was a set of mechanics?
A set of consistent mechanics. So it feels like it's in between poor and satisfactory.
I think so. We're umming and ahhing, aren't we? And I think that's why. And then as for the controls, they're kind of okay, but they don't feel particularly intuitive. The jump's quite floaty. It's reasonably forgiving. But there's kind of like a big delay between my swings, and it doesn't feel good, if you see what I mean. But I don't feel like I'm not in control. I just feel like it's clumsy is how I describe it. So again, what would satisfactory be for controls?
A reasonable set of usable controls.
And what would pass be?
Few or challenging controls.
Yeah, again, halfway between the two, I think. Because there's not that many controls for a start, and they're a little bit awkward.
Yeah, okay. And I don't think we have seen any bugs, but at the same time it's not
a huge amount of complexity.
Yeah.
So again, what would a good be?
A good would be game is reasonably complex, but there are no infrequent minor bugs. But there are infrequent minor bugs.
And what would pass? What would satisfactory be?
Satisfactory is game is reasonably complex, but there are minor bugs.
Okay.
And pass would be game is simple, or there are serious bugs.
So the game is fairly simple. There aren't any bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably at that level, I think. Although maybe some of these elements. So again, maybe halfway between a pass and satisfactory, to represent the fact they've got these choices. They've got multiple scenes. You know, you know, there's more stuff than yeah.
Just that, yeah. Okay,
just that,
so
yeah. Okay, I think we've seen 3 different endings now. So okay, what about the story engine then? So game to story. So I mean, they do clearly have some changes, right? So if I make a decision, the game world clearly changes and the monsters get introduced. So that would be story to game world, wouldn't it? So I think story to game world, I think there's clearly some things going on. It's quite granular, right? There's this like big shift. It's almost like you move into an alternative dimension, and it's not very well integrated, but it's definitely there, definitely present. What would a good be?
Good would be, so that's for story to game.
Story to game, yeah.
And good would be a number of examples of where the story impacts the game world in important ways.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether a number of examples fits.
So satisfactory would be some examples of where the story impacts the game world, and
yeah, and I think that's probably more like it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think we've got a satisfactory for story to game world. Game world to story is more interesting. Is there anything I do in the game that affects the story at all?
That's a good question.
So, for example, so what am I doing? I'm culling the wheat, and I'm trying to kill enemies, right? So, let's see if that has any effect whatsoever.
Oh, wow, that's
because I don't think the wheat made any difference.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. So I don't think my interactions with the world have any impact at all on the game.
It does feel like that.
Yeah. So if okay. There's one place, right, which is, do I go through here or do I go off to the right?
Yeah.
So, all right, look, what would a pass be?
Pass would be a few sparse or minor examples of where the game world impacts the story.
I don't think we're on few. What would a poor be?
Some support for story elements in the game, but the game world has no real impact on the story.
I think we're kind of there, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the story. The story elements are in the game, as in you go off to the right to meet the wizard or not. but your interactions in the world have no impact. So I think for that way round, for game world to story, it's down at that level, I think.
Yeah.
Structure. I think we're onto agency, right? So structure and the choices.
Yeah.
I'm just repeating my fever dream. So, in terms of structure, we've got this sort of slightly simple structure where I have 3 days and 2 choice points, right? The end of day 1 and the day 2.
Yeah.
If I choose the bad version at the end of day 2, I transfer to a mirror world of day... Sorry, at the end of day 1, if I choose the bad option, I transfer to a mirror world of day 2. At the end of day 2, I can say go back, and that takes me back to the beginning of day 2 again.
Yeah.
Right? And if I choose to carry on, I get a bad version of that, and then I get the ending. So, I've only got 2 choice points. One of them is also kind of a bit of a loop. So I think it's quite simple. What would satisfactory be for structure?
Narrative and gameplay do not interfere with one another, but the key mechanics have little to do with the themes of the story.
Oh, I think that's poetic. That's poetics, yeah.
That's poetics.
Yeah, structure.
Yes, so structure is some branching points.
And what would a pass be? Sorry, yeah.
A pass would be some minor branching points.
So I think it's better than maybe halfway between the two. We've got sort of 1.5 or 2.5 branching points kind of thing, haven't we?
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on, but there is some choices. Can you hit me from there? It's kind of a bit strange. I can hit him. It's quite useful. I'm not sure whether this is intentional, this thing here. It's actually quite handy. But
yeah,
anyway.
that's...
The Hill of Temptation.
So now we have the choices.
So I think the choices are a bit more of a problem. Because we haven't said we want the world. We've got no motivation. Do you want more? Do I want more? I mean, why... I don't know why I would make these choices. They feel quite arbitrary.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get on to the poetics in a minute. I understand why they look this way, but still, it doesn't feel like I'm particularly torn. I mean, I suppose you could argue, the game's boring otherwise, but that's not really a good reason to make a choice. What would satisfactory be for choices?
Some interesting choices.
I don't think we're there. Pass?
A few interesting choices.
Well, I've only got 2 choices, so what would... Maybe that's the problem as well, is just the lack of choices I've got. What would a poor be?
A few interesting choices. Player agency is problematic.
And below a poor?
A story with no choices of consequence.
Yeah, they've definitely got choices.
Yeah.
I think maybe poor. I think, we've only got 2 choices. The agency is problematic because I don't really know what I'm choosing, and I don't really know what the cost is. I'm kind of told, do you want more? There'll be a cost. And I'm like, more what? What cost?
Exactly.
Why am I here? The whole point of a narrative is that it gives you motivation for the game and the character. So here I don't know who this person is. I don't know what they're doing. They've not really set anything up in terms of his backstory. I've got nothing to go on. So yeah, I think probably poor.
Yeah.
And that does take us on to the poetics.
Yeah.
So again, in terms of the kind of story they're basing it on, I'm guessing they're going for the tortoise and the eagle. If men had all they wished, they would often be ruined.
Yeah.
But what do I? Yeah, I don't know. What do I wish? Why do I wish it? I said my lack of motivation is a problem. Also, what am I actually doing? So I do get something. I get the fireball, right?
Yeah.
So there's some limited support for kind of the meaning of the story, but I don't feel like I'm actually getting an advantage here. It's not like I feel like I'm, I've got this wonderful power, but the world's all going wrong or something. So what would a pass be for poetics?
So, narrative and gameplay have some conflict. Some of the mechanics go against the themes of the story.
I don't think there's conflict. I just think there's hardly any.
Yeah.
There's very little for it to grab onto, isn't there? Yeah. It's that music. Yeah. Okay. So what would satisfactory be?
Narrative and gameplay do not interfere with one another, but the key mechanics have little to do with the themes of the story.
I can see they've tried to link them together, but the lack of mechanics and those kind of gameplay elements is a problem. But they do kind of faintly echo. I think it's probably satisfactory. The poetics bit is really hard, right? I mean, getting a game where you tell the story through mechanics is difficult.
Yeah.
So we kind of deliberately set it up so that as long as you don't have ludonarrative dissonance, you're okay. And I think in this case they don't. I think it's a satisfactory score. And I can see they've attempted to do something more, but there's just not enough of it, I think, to justify a good. So does that take us on to
pacing
and techniques? So pacing wise, we got 3 days, obviously, almost like 3 acts. And you've got the kind of the little confrontation at the end, although I wouldn't say it's particularly a peak. Yes, the middle day can be a bit more exciting with all the monsters, but then the 3rd day I can go back and have a boring day again.
Yeah.
So I think the pacing it does have ups and downs, but it feels inconsistent, and the final one doesn't feel like a particular big peak to me. What would satisfactory be?
Some ascending pacing.
And what would pass be?
Pacing unclear or flat.
Yeah, I don't think it's flat. I just think it's kind of unclear.
Yeah.
I think. So I think probably a pass. And techniques. So there are 2 ways that the story is being told, right? Which is, one is a little bit of environmental storytelling, which is actually quite nice. With the filters, I've changed colour, the background's changed colour, the music's changed colour. And then the second is the text at the top, which is really quite nicely written actually, and quite funny monsters. So I think they've done alright here. What would a satisfactory be?
Use of at least one game writing technique.
I think they might have done better than that. What's a good?
Use of more than one game writing techniques.
And what would be an excellent?
Appropriate and consistent use of more than one game writing technique.
Yeah, I think they would have been there had they had more game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it merits a good. I think kind of they've got at least 2 different ways of telling the story, and they both work. So yeah. it's good.
That leads us to the feedback. Let
what
me
did they
see.
say?
The feedback given was to consider what the gameplay should be if the player goes normally about the day and doesn't accept the wizard's offer. We figured, because the player starts with a standard slash ability, that it can be used for doing the character's menial tasks of cutting hay. If it subverts expectations of the slash being used as a combat tool because it's used for this task. The justification for the menial task is to emphasize the choice of temptation, which is the theme explored throughout the game. And that's it.
So the feedback was that there wasn't enough going on in the hay cutting, boring bit.
Yeah.
I think the problem is they've not made a game of it, right? So I think if there was if I had a certain amount of time to cut a certain amount of hay or something.
Absolutely. Or hay meter that you have to fill up or something.
Yeah, with some kind of limit.
Exactly.
And maybe some more difficult spaces to get to then maybe that would have worked, right? But yeah, I'm not convinced they've done something. They've taken some action, but yeah, it doesn't really solve the problem, I don't think.
Yeah, so in this case, let's see if in this case pass would be feedback was addressed, but the changes have limited success. And
I think that's where it is, isn't it?
It feels like that.
Yeah. And again, it's because it's very brief, so it's hard to say. But I think if you're being generous, you'd say yes, they have attempted to do it. They've given you that stuff to cut down, but they haven't really solved the problem by doing that, because they've not made it into a game. They've not kind of turned that into part of the experience. It just kind of is just there. And as you can see from my playthroughs, it doesn't matter whether you cut the hay or not. Yeah. So yeah, I think it passed.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we should move on to our next game. Right, so our last game for this batch is called Errand Boy. Okay, so not much of a title screen, but that's fine. I'm straight into the game itself. You've been sent to this town by a request from your guild to find a solution to the worldwide drought issue. E. Visit the shops for information. So I move, doesn't tell me, but I move with WASD, so that doesn't go away. So
what if you press E again?
E? Oh, go talk to the two shopkeepers. Now it goes away.
Okay.
Okay. At least I move nice and quickly, although it's a slightly weird, jittery scroll, which is strange. How do I go in? Can I go in here? How do I get in? Space? Anything? No, can't get in there. How do I get in?
Can you...
E maybe? I just walked through the door. Oh. There we go. Right, E. My name is Jim. Hi, Jim. I'm the owner of this shop. How can I help you? I'm an adventurer sent by the guild to investigate the drought. I don't have anything for filthy and worthless adventurers like you. I'll notify you when I have something useful. Alright, fine. Thanks, Jim. Helpful. Who's this? Well, my name's Alex. I'm the owner of this shop. And we say shop in the loosest possible sense of the word. You must be the adventurer sent by the guild. You must be tired from a long trip. Here's some food and water. Thank you, Alex. I apologise for laughing at your terrible shop.
Yeah.
I have an extra room you can stay at for the... Really? Where? It's not...
In the barrel, I suppose.
Go and talk to Jim or Alex. Well, hang on. Who's that? You are Alex. Oh, can you please clear the slimes that Jim's fenced in? They're a threat to the village if they break out. I can attack with my... Oh, is that my room? Where do you think Jim's put some slimes? Where's your slimes, Jim? No, doesn't want to tell me.
Maybe up somewhere.
Up there, up here, perhaps.
Probably this.
Oh, that's like a... Oh!
Oh, there it is.
Christ. You could probably impress Jim by telling him. Okay.
Ah, interesting.
So let's impress Jim. Hey Jim, all those slimes. Go talk to the Jim or Alex. Go collect some bones from the graveyard by killing the skeletons, saving me having to pay for them. Go kill the skeletons at the graveyard. What happens if I talk to Alex? Because he gave me the slime job. Nothing.
Oh, interesting.
Well, was this the great? Where's the skeletons? So that's the edge, right? I can't get off of there.
Oh, that's the draw.
Ah, over there. Some skeletons over there. Yeah. Good God.
Oh,
They really come for you. Blimey.
wow.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't feel like I'm in control of this situation whatsoever. I'm just manically thrashing at skeletons. And my health occasionally goes down.
Sell the bones to Jim, but you could give them to Alex instead.
Why would I give the bones to Alex? What possible use does Alex have for some bones?
He was nice to you.
He was. Well then. Oh, I hate him so. Oh, Alex, you've got a dark side, mate. Alright, let's talk to Alex. My wood chest. I hid it to keep Jim away. Building a bridge across the dried river. Go find the chest. God, I don't understand why this is called Errand Boy. I'm not entirely sure why this is helping me with the whole drought situation.
That's.
Did he say where it was?
I think maybe in that side somewhere.
I get past there. No.
So maybe in the village somewhere.
Yeah. Unless there's another thing over here that I haven't seen. There's a sort of fluffing sound as I walk, which is, I guess, supposed to be walking on grass, but just sounds like I'm scratching something. Very strange. Where did you hide your chest? There. Okay. There's his chest. E. Oh, give the wood to Alex or Jim. Why would I give it to Jim? It's not his wood.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for getting me the wood. Instead of building a bridge, I hit Jim around the head with it. I'm joking, sadly. Okay, talk to you. Right, I like Alex. There's a potion guarded by some beasts in the fort. I can apparently make a wish come true. I could finally ruin Jim's life. I'm beginning to think that Alex is not a kindly person I think he is.
Wow.
Go slay the beast over the river. Okay. Oh, does that mean he's built the bridge?
Where exactly?
I don't know. Wasn't there a river somewhere? There it is.
There it is. Yeah.
I think this brown thing is supposed to be a river.
I think it's dry. No water in there.
Could be. There's blood. Is that blood patches going in there? That's quite nice. I like that.
Yeah, that's.
Ah.
Oh.
What? Wasn't I supposed to be just finding a potion?
I think.
How much health do you think that thing has?
I have no idea. At least you can attack it when.
Game over. Play again.
Okay. If you want, we can start marking the.
Yeah, okay. So long sigh there from having to start it again, but let's go and talk to them.
Yeah, so we can start with information design. And one thing I think really this game lacks is the enemy health, because you have no idea how much there is.
Yeah, I mean there's some stuff going on, right? I've got my health obviously, and I've got that little floaty thing.
Absolutely, yeah, and
I forgot what I'm actually supposed to do here. Is it kill the slimes?
Yeah.
Well,
you have the text, the text that tells you what to do, and that.
Right, go and kill the skeleton. So I think the tasks I get from both of them are the same.
It's just who you report to after you did the task.
Yeah, this is a bit strange. I mean, I've got no idea what I'm doing really. I'm just mobbed by skeletons. I've got no idea who I'm attacking. I've no idea if they're doing any damage.
I wonder if there's like a shield or
So
a way to block.
Yeah, let's report back to Alex. So
for the information design, we have.
So okay. So there's some elements that are working and some elements that are not, basically. So yeah, what would satisfactory be?
Most information is shown. So
yeah, I think there's some key information that's not being shown. So what would a pass be?
Some attempt at information design.
Oh, I've got to slay the beast. I'm not going to slay the beast. I've got 10 health. I don't think we're gonna get to see the end of this.
Does it give you health when you go in?
Do you think I can go and rest or something? Because I haven't really explored my house. I had a little house down the bottom.
Maybe.
Let's try that. See if that gets me anywhere. Yeah. So I think. Sorry. What was a pass for information design?
Some attempt at information design.
Yeah, I think that's where it is. There is some. Nope, I don't appear to be able to do anything here. All right, let's go and get killed.
And graphics wise, I think they are all.
The graphics is quite nice. The fonts the font's a bit inconsistent.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, put my graphics off. There's some nice actually. Talk about information design. This is a little bit of. I mean, you could argue it's the. Maybe we'll get to environmental storytelling later, but I do love the blood splats. That's good.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no.
So
my! I give my full health then. So I have no idea if this is working. I'm not taking any damage. Do you think I'm doing any damage to it? Yes. Oh. There we go.
E.
I'm pressing E. Nothing.
I suppose.
E. Space. Should I just?
I suppose it adds it automatically, or you already have it. Yeah. Yeah.
Or you may be able to use it elsewhere.
So you have the choice to either.
There's a hole. Oh, what? Well, you didn't tell me that. The sound of raging water. You filled the river back up. The river was an actual thing. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow.
So it ends. So if I gave it to Alex, he'd presumably kill Jim with it.
Maybe.
Let's try that. Okay, I'll carry on playing while we go through the
thing. So graphics wise, I think they're consistent and effective from what I see.
Mostly, yes. I think there's that little problem with the font, but I think that would be a bit. Oh, I forgot to get the task. I think that would be a little bit picky. So yes, I think satisfactory.
Oh, in this case, that's good actually.
Okay.
If it's consistent and effective.
So what would satisfactory?
Is just consistent.
Oh, no, I think they're I think good. Yeah, I think they are effective.
And audio-wise, I think you have music, you have audio effects.
Yeah, it's fine.
Walking.
Again, I think probably. I mean, good. I think is both of them working together. Is that right?
Complementary audio effects and music.
Yeah, I think we have that.
Yeah.
Did I pick up my thing or not? I did. Yeah. No, I think the way it looks is right. Yeah. That sounds.
Just to see, excellent would be appealing effects and music, sound effects.
I don't think it's quite there. We've got there's this incongruity between the fonts and the pixel art and maybe a slight lack of sophistication with the music, but I think definitely at the
at a good level.
Good level, yeah.
And
I'm doing all this for him all the time. I should probably mix it up a bit, but.
So what about the mechanics we have?
So I've got flailing madly around with my sword. That seems to be a thing. I can explore and I can talk to people. So quite a limited set of mechanics. But they kind of work. What would satisfactory be?
A set of consistent mechanics.
So this is really about. They're consistent. This is really about the scale of them and the complexity.
Yeah.
Does it count as a set? I mean, what can I do? I can literally. Yeah, that's weird. I have to click on the chest rather than E. But anyway. Yeah. There's. I mean, what would pass be?
Pass would be a set of inconsistent mechanics. And we are at that problem where they are consistent, but it's not necessarily a set.
So maybe between the two, just to reflect that.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to give the potion to him this time.
And so, how do the controls feel?
Moving around is fine. It's quite nice. It's swift. I like the fact that I don't have to mess about with the run key. I'm just constantly running.
Yeah.
The clicking to attack is a bit strange because could I do the other things that are mapped? No. Oh, I can do space to attack as well. But yeah, the attack is the problem because it just feels like it's floaty. There's no feedback. Yeah, that's an issue. So I would say that is problematic. Yeah, and like this here, look. I mean, he's attacking me. How's he attacking me? I don't know how he's attacking me. Is he shooting me?
Probably.
Okay, so I need to. Yeah, so it does feel like I'm a bit. Oh, I died.
Yeah.
It's because of the lack of feedback. I don't know if I'll be able to get through this again. I wanted to see what would happen if I gave him the potion.
So yeah, control-wise, we have a reasonable set of usable controls, or that would be a satisfactory.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure we're quite there.
And pass would be few or challenging controls.
I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's probably where we are. Like you said, maybe. I mean, we've got the interactions with the shopkeepers. That works quite well. So maybe halfway between the two.
Yeah.
To reflect that.
And any bugs? I
don't see any. And there's a reasonable level of complexity. So I think that's probably at the excellent level, isn't it?
Game is reasonably complex and there are no obvious bugs.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the edge of being reasonably complex, but I think it is. It's got lots of different elements.
Yeah. And I suppose that leads us to the story engine.
So that's interesting. So let's have a think about this. Oh, has he built the?
You probably have to find the.
Oh, chest. I forgot the chest.
Yeah.
The chest quest.
Yeah, that's one thing that I think we missed. It doesn't. So you have a quest, but it doesn't tell you anywhere. So if you missed it, you are out of luck.
Yeah, there's no guidance, is there?
Yeah.
So in terms of story and game, I don't think so. The story is essentially who I am talking to. So at the moment, I'm talking to Alex, right? And I'm interacting with him all the time. But yeah, I just kind of is there? Oh, here we go. concentrating on trying to kill this thing.
Yeah.
Ah!
Oh,
Oh, just survived. Come on, come on, come on.
Oh. That's
Again, just impossible to see what it's doing. But what's odd is I didn't seem to have that problem the first time. I just killed it fairly easily. Right, let's try. I'm fed up with talking to Alex. He's too good for his own good, and he wants to kill Jim. Yeah, sorry, where were we?
So the story engine.
Yeah, so in terms of the story impacting the game, there is at least there's a couple of examples, right? So the slimes don't appear until I've got the quest to kill the slimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I got stuck. I think I found a bug.
Oh really? Wow.
Okay, so I think that might affect our bug score a little bit. I'm going to have to restart, I think.
Infrequent minor bugs.
Yeah.
Should it be in between excellent or good, or?
That's pretty minor. I think just in between.
Yeah. So where were we? Oh yeah, the story impacting the game world.
Yeah, so the slimes appear when you get the quest, the skeletons appear when you get the quest, and the bridge appears when you get the quest.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, it would have been better, for example, if the slimes had been here, whatever, right? And then the narrative changes according to
so
what you're doing.
In the notes they say that the ending as well. So the story impacts the game world at the ending. So if you choose either to give the potion to one or the other, it changes some things.
Well, does it change the game world, or does that just give us a different ending?
I mean, it does say depending on how the player chooses, the story changes, and with this change in story comes changes in the game world as the game ends. So they do say that. We haven't gotten to that.
We'll find out. I think based on what we've seen so far, I think we've clearly got some examples of the story changing the game world. It's just not very sophisticated. Oh, I really can't. It's so impossible to fight with this thing.
So
I've got no idea. I've got no idea whether I'm hitting it. I've got no idea. Yeah, it's quite frustrating. Yeah. So I think story to game world. What would a satisfactory be?
Some examples of where the story impacts the game world.
And what would a pass be?
A few sparse or minor examples of where the story impacts the game world.
Yeah, it's kind of maybe halfway between the two.
Yeah, I think that is fair. And I'm just reading what they said about the game world affecting the story.
So yeah,
so for example, the blood at the top of the, before the boss, it says, the blood found at the top of the world builds intrigue as the player can see if they decide to explore, but will not be able to access that area until later. Wait, can you look to see if there's blood right now at the top?
Let's have a look. Yeah, I can't see it because the bridge isn't there.
If you go to the top left,
there. Just that little patch
of it.
But that's not the narrative changing. That's not the game world changing the narrative. The game world changing the narrative would be if I take an action in this game world that makes a difference to the story. There is an example, and it's based on which of these shopkeepers I go to.
Yeah.
So again, I think it's there. It happens. It's the same choice, but it happens 3 times. Okay, so
what they're saying here is not really the game impacting the story, but more like world building and how the game world.
It's environmental storytelling, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what they are explaining here in the notes. And I suppose they talk about the choices. So the choices the player makes, who to talk to.
Yeah.
That's
There is a choice that I make in the game world, which is which shopkeeper to go to. And it does have some impact on the story because I get different text. I get the conversation with Jim or the conversation with Alex. It feels like they're building up to something. Like if I interact with Jim all the time, I get a different ending than if I interact with Alex all the time. Yeah. But it's not clear to me that that's the case, and we haven't actually got to the end yet. So, well, we did get one ending, didn't we?
Yeah, the one where you saved the potion for yourself, even though you didn't know you do that. Oh, that's new.
Where do they come from? What? So is this because I've...
That's interesting. Oh.
So I've killed him anyway, and I've got these blooming...
You got the potion.
Well, I don't know. What can I get out? Right. Well, I'm not chucking it in a hole by accident again. So I've only been talking to Jim, right? I've not talked to Alex at all. Yeah. I'm still going to give it to Alex.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, here we go. Here's the game world being affected. Alright, okay. Not really. It didn't really affect the game world because I couldn't play it. It was just a different way of telling the story. But quite cute. I like that. Alex gets his comeuppance. Right, where were we again?
Game world to story.
So game world to story. So the problem is I think what that demonstrates, because I talked to Jim all the way through and then gave it to Alex at the end, is they're completely independent. It doesn't really matter who I talk to. I do get a different type of text though. So I think there are some examples of the game world impacting the story, but they're very minor. It's just depending on which shopkeeper you go to talk to, you get different text. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. And as far as I can tell, it has no consequence who you give all the stuff to. The only thing that matters is who you give the potion to at the end. Right. So, you know, and that doesn't affect the game world. That's the story affecting the story. So what would a pass be?
Pass would be a few sparse or minor examples of where the game world impacts the story.
And what would a pour be?
Some support for story elements in the game, but the game world has no real impact on the story.
I don't. It's not quite as bad as that. But maybe halfway between the two, because it's very. It looks like it looks like it has an impact, but it doesn't. It doesn't actually make any difference.
Yeah.
So yeah, halfway between the two, I think.
Yep. And
so what's our next?
Now it's richness of structure and quality of choices.
So I think I am getting a sound feedback when I'm hitting these skeletons. But it's still impossible to know how it's happening. Right, so where do we get to? Yes, the structure. So I've got three quests, and I can accept the quest from either person. And there is a branching point because I get different text depending on which person I get to, but it doesn't actually change the quest. So they're completely false choices, right? And then I get a final choice at the end about whether I give the potion to Alex or Jim or chuck it in a hole. And that's it. So I think we've got a very simple structure with a kind of a choice at the end, but very limited choices in the middle. So what would a satisfactory be?
Satisfactory would be some branching points.
And what would a pass be?
Some minor branching points.
Yeah. So I think we've got some minor branching points and a choice at the end. So what would poor be?
Few minor branching points.
Yeah, it's okay. So I think the choice at the end stops it being poor.
Yeah.
But I'm not convinced it's enough to make it much more than a pass. We've got some choice points, some minor choice points, and then we have a choice at the end, and that's kind of it. So it's a very, very basic structure, I think.
Yeah. So in that case, something like a pass.
I think a pass, yeah.
And yeah, so apparently I looked at the notes. Depending on who you side more with, the boss fight is either easier or harder. So if you sided more with Jim, there were skeletons that spawned.
So okay, so that goes back to our story engine thing then. So there is a consequence.
Although it's not very.
It's just it's not clear, and it's also doesn't make any sense. You know, why would it be? Right, let's give this to Alex and get rid of Jim.
Or do you mean the other one, or Jim?
Yeah, we're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna give it to Alex to get rid of Jim. I think. Oh no, I done it before, didn't I? So can I go and give it to? I meant to give it to Jim. Oh, there we go. It worked. Followed by screaming from Jim's shop. Hang on.
Oh wow.
I think I got the same ending, despite the fact I went to talk to Jim. I got the Alex ending. That was my fault. I ran through the whole game and then went to the wrong person.
Yeah, I think they started the Alex.
Yeah. All right. Right. Well, we may or may not get to see it. Let's. I'll try and get through this quickly while we do the rest of it. So So I think for the game engine then, what did we say previously for the game for the game world affecting? Sorry, the story affecting the game world.
We gave it between a pass and satisfactory.
So yeah. So I think we should be generous and lift it up to satisfactory, because it does have an impact. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think that's probably more down. That'll be reflected later on when we get to the choices.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that now we are on the choices.
Okay.
And
so this is
the choices we have is either talk with one or the other person.
Oh, I left some behind. Yeah, we can get the quest from one or the other, and then we can just choose what to do with the potion at the end. The potion at the end, that's a little better because I think you've got a sense of what they're going to do. So they framed it. You know that Alex wants to do Jim in. You kind of know that Jim doesn't want to do anything for Alex. The choices about who to talk to though, and they feel a little bit vague. Like wood. Like, shall I give the wood to Alex or Jim? Who cares? Who knows? They're both going to build a bridge. So I think the end choice isn't bad actually. It's quite nice. It's like what am I going to do with this potion? Am I going to chuck it away and stop them from using it or what? So that works. But so what would a satisfactory be for choices?
Satisfactory, some interesting choices.
Well, there's one interesting choice. So what would a pass be?
A few interesting choices.
Yeah. And a poor?
A poor would be few interesting choices and player agency is problematic.
Agency. Yeah. It's a little bit. So pass was few interesting choices, right?
Yeah.
I think if you're being generous, that's where you'd put it. You're still building a relationship with the characters as you go through. So I think you could argue that they're choices of a kind, and the end choice I think is genuinely interesting. So yeah, I think probably a pass is reasonable.
And which story do you think the game is based on? Or the poetics?
Well, that's a good question. So what have we got? We got the tortoise and the eagle, which is, if you know, the whole thing about being ruined if you get what you wished for. I guess there's a potion that grants people wishes, so that might be it. The farmer and the cranes is if words suffice not, blows must follow. Doesn't feel like that one. Misfortune tests the sincerity of friends. That's the bear and the two travellers. I think it's probably the tortoise and the eagle.
So I'm not sure they actually say.
Yeah, they're supposed to, but sometimes they don't.
I think because at the ending, one of the ending with Alex, where you give him the potion, it says if men got what they wanted, or that wins them or something. So I suppose that's the story.
Yeah,
the tortoise and the eagle.
So the problem is that you're not the one learning the lesson. They are, right? So for this to be properly, you know, have a sort of proper. Oh, it's the chest again, isn't it? The proper poetics would be, what am I doing? I'm exploring and I'm killing stuff, right? But I'm not benefiting from getting what I wish for or making those kinds of decisions. It's not wrapped up into the mechanics of the game. Instead, it's very much, as I said, it's just the end point, right? This is again the denouement. It's the having made the final decision, having gone past the big bad boss and got the potion. I make a decision and they get their comeuppance, not me. So, yeah, I can kind of see what they're doing. But again, not entirely convinced it's very effective. So what would a satisfactory be for poetics?
Satisfactory would be narrative and gameplay do not interfere with one another, but the key mechanics have little to do with the themes of the story.
Yeah, and I kind of think that's where we are. Oh, just made it.
So
right.
give it
to Jim. I know. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one in the big shop. Yeah. I saw what the ending is in the notes, so you'll be surprised maybe.
Yeah. So in terms of poetics, I kind of think maybe is probably satisfactory. Oh, there's a lot of stuff there. You've got it. Yes. Jim drinks the potion. Wished for it, but it fell right through the floor. They'd often be ruined. Okay, there you go. So yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's kind of the theme is there, but it doesn't resonate because you're not making the decisions as the player. You're observing other people.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's still satisfactory. I think it's it's okay. It certainly doesn't clash.
Yep. I think that's right.
So that takes us on to techniques, which is pacing and the techniques of the story. In terms of pacing, again we've got three errands that we run, and there's definitely it sort of does build up. The chest is a weird one. It's like a bit of a lull at the beginning. But then I've got the fighting the slimes, fighting the skeletons. So it's a bit uneven, but there's definitely a rising bit at the end with the boss fight. And it feels like I'm making an important decision at the end, right? So actually, I think of all the elements of this, the pacing is perhaps one of the strongest bits, actually. What would good be for pacing?
Ascending pacing with a clear final peak.
That's kind of where it feels like to me.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, because excellent would be more than one peak.
Yeah.
And we don't have that.
I don't think so. I think So not narratively. I mean, yeah, you've got these kind of fights, but I don't think that quite is sufficient. So, and techniques. Yeah. So techniques, we've got one technique which is used quite effectively, which is the dialogue, and then we've got a little glimpse of another technique, which is the environmental storytelling with the blood spots.
Yeah.
So whether that's enough to count as multiple techniques is an interesting question. What would satisfactory be for techniques?
Use of at least one game writing technique. So
that's there.
They have that, and good would be use of more than one game writing technique.
So I think that mostly the game's at the satisfactory level, but for those little blood spats, and for that maybe just lift them up halfway between the two.
Yeah, okay.
Just to reflect the fact they've thought about that. It's a shame they didn't do a little bit more with it, a little bit more sort of environmental storytelling maybe. But
I mean, for example, they do mention how the two shopkeepers, one is very rich, so he has a big shop.
Yes, that's true.
While the other one is, poor and has just a barrow, and stuff like that. They mention that it kind of environmental storytelling.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that is true. The setting up of the two, and showing the riches and those kinds of things. And actually, there is another thing, of course, isn't there? Which probably pushes it higher. Which is that at the end, they actually put some scripted events in where the monsters appear or they fall from the floor. I completely forgotten about that. So I think that actually lifts them up to a good. And it's worth thinking, what would an excellent be?
Yeah, so excellent would be appropriate and consistent use of more than one game writing technique.
So, yeah, I don't think they're kind of only happens once. It's appropriate. Feels appropriate though. It does feel like it's kind of right. So maybe halfway between the two. Because I like the scripted thing at the end is nice. They've actually got 3 in here, so maybe halfway between good and excellent is appropriate.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Now I'm off to the feedback.
Okay.
Let's see what
shall I do now? I've had all my endings, haven't I?
I think yes.
So which ending would we like to see? Should we? Let's try the Alex one because we haven't had that for. Oh no, the one where what happens when I chuck it in the hole? Because I sort of did that by accident to start with.
Yeah. So it says here that originally, when we originally presented the idea of our story, we were giving the feedback that we should give each shopkeeper different flaws.
Yeah.
This would allow us to provide the user with a clearer choice of who to side with, as well as provide a better story.
Yeah, so you feel like you've got a relationship with them.
Created 2 characters, giving them different ways that they talk to the player.
And I think that does work. It does improve it.
Yeah, for example, Jim wants to save money and get even richer, whereas Alex originally wants the best for the nearby village, but as the game progresses, he just wants the downfall of Jim.
Yes.
So each one of them has flaws. Then we were given feedback concerning the choices the player makes during the game. We were told to make sure we didn't undermine the choices. This means that we have to make sure the choices the player made had an impact on the story and weren't pointless.
Yes. So that's what we talked about. So is that where they introduced the boss fight changes and the skeletons?
Even a small... Yeah, so we made sure to give the player's choice different consequences where we could. The simplest example of this would be each time the player sides with an NPC, they are more likely to encounter their boss fight in the final quest. Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what they did, yeah. Which we did comment on, but so they put a link in, but it doesn't. It's a nonsensical link. Right, it doesn't make any sense why the boss fight would be different.
That's
yeah. But it is there.
What they also say, we were advised that for our narrative to be engaging, we shouldn't have one obvious choice. We made sure not to constantly assist the player when making choices. Instead, we chose to infrequently give the player hints so that they wouldn't miss on a key aspect.
So they kind of drop those into the dialogue. So things like Alex, I guess, suggesting what he'd do with that potion. Jim suggesting
exactly.
So I think that the narrative elements of that feedback actually work well, building the relationship with the shopkeepers, popping in hints so that you kind of had a sense of what they would do depending on which way you went with the final decision.
Yeah.
And the one that didn't work well was trying to make your decisions have consequences, and that just feels like it was disconnected. So what would a satisfactory be for feedback?
Let me see. So satisfactory feedback was addressed, and the changes have been somewhat successful.
Yeah. So I think they've hit that. And what would good be?
Good would be feedback has been addressed, and the changes have been successful.
So given that some were and some weren't, perhaps halfway between the two?
I think so, because they also have one final piece of feedback, which is in the form of the question, how does the story affect the world?
Yeah.
And I think we did discuss this. So they do say we also needed to make sure the story affected the game world throughout, but also kept control of the pacing. We did this by having the world subtly change as the story progresses. For example, new areas and new monsters.
Yeah, so that's the slimes appearing in this. Yeah. Which we did note, but kind of. Yeah. I don't think that changes the assessment of their feedback. I think it's kind of.
Yeah, it's
still between the two. They've got elements which are successful. They've got some elements which are less successful, or in that case, which kind of work but are a bit clumsy. So I think somewhere between the two is probably about right.
Yeah. And
okay.
I think that.
Okay, and that's it, isn't it? So look, thanks very much for watching this video, and we will see you again to look at some more games. Thank you.